What would happen if you gathered a mole, the unit, of moles, the animals, in one place? At first it sounds funny, but the answer quickly turns into a bizarre and gruesome thought experiment. A mole isn't a creature at all, it's a number. Just like a dozen means 12, a mole means 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd. That's 600 sextillion, give or take. A number so huge it's almost impossible to picture. Scientists use it because atoms and molecules are incredibly tiny, and you need absurdly large counts to describe them. Conveniently, a mole of hydrogen atoms weighs about 1 gram, and by coincidence, it's also roughly the same order of magnitude as the number of sand grains on Earth. In short, a mole is science's way of handling the unimaginable. But a mole is also a small, furry mammal. These digging creatures live underground, are nearly blind, and spend their lives tunneling in search of insects. Cute or creepy, they're a far cry from the abstract number, but they're about to collide in this thought experiment. Let's start with a wild guess. Imagine I could pick up a mole, the animal, and toss it. Suppose each one weighs about a kilogram. Multiply that by 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd, and you get around a trillion kilograms. That's on the scale of a planet's mass. Clearly, we're not talking about just a pile of critters anymore. We're talking about something celestial. For a more precise number, take the eastern mole, which averages about 75 grams. Multiply that by Avogadro's number, and the result is roughly 4.52 times 10 to the 22nd kilograms, just over half the mass of our moon. Since mammals are mostly water, that weight equals the same number in liters of volume. Spread across Earth, those moles would bury the surface beneath an 80-kilometer deep ocean of flesh and fur, stretching right to the edge of space. Needless to say, this would wipe out almost all life and smother the planet in a very unpleasant way. If we release a mole of moles into space, gravity pulls them into a sphere. Because meat is mostly water, it doesn't compress like rock does, so this new mole planet would end up larger than the moon, even though it only has about half its mass. Its surface gravity would be weak, about 1/16 of Earth's, similar to Pluto. But what happens inside? Inside, pressure builds to hundreds of megapascals, far beyond what bacteria can survive. Without microbes to break them down, the moles don't rot in the usual sense. Instead, their bodies compress into a sticky organic mush called keratin, the raw material that could eventually become oil if it were hotter. A thick layer of fur blankets the surface, acting like insulation and slowing heat loss into space. But the interior isn't quiet. Convection stirs the liquid meat, while gases like methane and the last breaths trapped in tiny mole lungs collect and push upward. Every so often, this pressure erupts through the crust in volcanic geysers of fur and flesh, blasting mole matter into space. After centuries of chaos, the planet gradually cools, freezing solid into a grim monument of biology gone wrong. So what is the conclusion? A mole of moles on Earth would spell instant catastrophe, smothering the planet in an ocean of flesh. In space, gravity would forge a grotesque mole planet, complete with eruptions of fur and meat. But across the universe, the numbers add up differently. Life could one day produce a true mole of moles. The only catch? You'll need a spaceship. Oh, and did you find this video interesting? Then hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you back soon.